This is my makeup after going to church today. If you're interested in seeing how I accomplished this makeup look, please stay tuned so that you can see all the details that I have to give to you. So last Sunday, somebody from my church see me at Costco and she was like, girl, your skin, your base is always basing. So let me give y'all the things that I like to do for my makeup and my makeup looks to have the best look, okay? So we're always gonna start out with clean skin. If you can, the best thing you can do is exfoliate your skin. What I like to do is use like one of those, what is it, like brow maintenance, what is this thing called? These little things, I like to use these to like get the skin off of the hair off of my face. I did that already. We're gonna then go in with this toner. Same toner I always use from Clinique. Okay guys, it's always Clinique, always Clinique. We're gonna do this in the most driest parts of my face. So I have combination skin. I feel like sometimes my face is very oily and then sometimes it's very dry. So I'm gonna go here, tone my face, my brows, all the things, hairline, everywhere. After we tone, I'm going to moisturize. We're gonna add moisture back into our face. Use the Nivea as my moisturizer, hydration. A lot of people are scared to add like face creams to their face. If you are afraid, you can always find a moisturizer that is not an oil base that works for your skin type, but I know what works for me in the Nivea cream. Although it's thick, it really works in making sure my face is like very hydrated. After we hydrate, we're gonna go in with our sunscreen. I think any sunscreen works, but you know your skin type, so just use sunscreen that works for you and be very generous. Try not to get it on your brows though, because once it gets on your brows, it's a mess. The brow step is a mess, okay? So I will say this Super Goop is some of the best. It never leaves me a residue. It's 50 SPF blockage and I never look chalky. So that's why that one is my favorite and go-to one. Okay, so after we do our sunscreen, moisturizer, eye cream, all that, you're gonna go in with your favorite primer. I am using the e.l.f. Grip Primer. This one is actually new. And so we're gonna go in with that. I like this one and I like the other one, that's the pink one. I think I just added too much, but I like to do enough coverage. Green in the primer sometimes turns white on your skin, but if you let it dry down, it's gonna be perfect. So just don't be impatient and start adding makeup because your face is not ready for makeup right now. You have to let the primer dry down in order for the primer to work well. And so primer on your brows is cool. It's not gonna make it oily or slippery. It's gonna work perfectly. See how it went down so fast? Perfect. Okay, so then after you do your skin prep and all those things, depending on the imperfections or lines of demarcation that you have and you want to conceal, then you go in with your concealer. As you all know, I really like e.l.f. concealer, so that's where we're going to go in. We have two. I have them both in tan neutral, and one is the 16-hour Camo Concealer and the other one is the Hydro Camo Concealer. Why? And e.l.f. comes to the front because we need to ask you, why is the different formulas different shades? We're waiting. Secondly, when I mix them, I get my perfect shade. One is too warm and one is too light. So, but they're both neutral, so you can work with them. So I'll show you what I like to do. So that's the first one, and then this is the more cool one. And with this, you're gonna let it dry down, because again, if you start moving product before it had time to like dry a little bit, it's gonna move too much and then you don't get as much coverage as you would like. So we're gonna just wait for this to dry. While we're waiting, we're gonna do our brow. I prefer to use dip brow. Sometimes I use a pencil. I don't think I have the pencil with me right now, but I like dip brow better because I get to do those hair strokes a little more, they're more deep, which means it's more pigmented. The brush with the angle brush with the Anastasia dip brow in the shade deep brown. Okay, so my brows are done. What I like to do after I do my brows, I tap, the concealer is perfect, and then I like to use some of it for underneath my brow. But now that is very, very matte. Okay, let's hop back in. So now that we are done with our brows, we have concealed, cleaned our brows up. This is what our brows looks like. We're gonna then take a foundation brush, any brush that you prefer to use or just a favorite brush. You can use a beauty blender. I am learning and trying to just use beauty blenders for powders, because I noticed that when I use beauty blenders, it absorbs a lot of the makeup. So if you want more coverage and more like not more use, but more coverage, as well as you want to use all the product that you have on your face, use a brush. So we're going to use this foundation brush. This is a Morphe brush number 104. And we're just going to press this concealer into our face. What I am really obsessed with these days is skin tint. I have this skin tint from Fenty Beauty, and so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use today. Fenty, it's called Ease Drops, and it's a blur skin tint, and mine is in the shade 14. I like to add it to my hand, generous amount of dots. And what I'm going to do is take that same brush that I blended out my concealer with. This is our foundation. So this, I think, is what is really catching the girls, is that I'm under concealing before I'm adding my foundation. So here we go. Product is on my hand. I'm going to rub in a few of those circles, and then I'm going to press them into my face. I love that. It's like skin, girl, skin. It's giving skin. Okay, other side, nothing, just the concealer, foundation. Skin Easy Tint. We're going to press that into our face. Now, one thing about this is that it's buildable. So this other first side is looking good. I want a little bit more on this side. That's a personal preference. I'm going to add boom, 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 a little dot, little circle. Take it, blend the brush like that. There you go. Yep, that's perfect now. As you can see, I'm kind of avoiding my nose. I'm going to hit that last. I'm going to add a little bit of this Easy Tint on top of my forehead. I like to really focus foundation in this area, as far as my cheeks and my chin. And then the residue I like to add to my nose and my forehead, just so that it has some product, but not a bunch of kinky product. So there's that. So then this is our face with just skin tint and concealer underneath. We're going to, I also avoid my under eyes because product is already going to be there. First layer of makeup. Let's head into the second. Okay, so the next layer that I'm going to start with is concealer. So I already told y'all, but NARS is my favorite concealer, and then also e.l.f. is my favorite concealer. I seen this video of a girl saying she didn't like the e.l.f. concealer because it always creased. I had that same problem, but then I kind of perfected it, and I'm gonna tell y'all how. Okay, so what I like to do with the e.l.f. concealer, I go in with this first. I like to go in with the lighter one first in the inner corner. I'm gonna take that on the outside. I'll be really trying to make it look, it's the same, but girl, it's kind of hard. So I do that here. I'll take a dot of the warmer one. I sit that in the middle because I like concealer, but I don't like when you could tell that it's brighter. So that just gels it down just a little bit. Then I like to take the NARS concealers because both of these are like a couple shades lighter, and I stack that right on top of the first one. So it's kind of like having 3 shades because, you know, you want it to be bright. You just don't want it to be like obviously bright. Especially when you're doing daytime activities. I'm going to church. And while I want to look cute to go to church, right? I don't want it to look like I'm going to the club. But if that's your style, then that's your style. I like to then go in with the Fenty Beauty Rum Concealer. Alright, this is not concealer, this is highlight. But I like to put that here on my nose and on the top of my lip. So that's this layer. And then the last thing we like to go in with is our contour stick. And so then I'm trying something new today where I added higher on the higher points of my face. And then this goes on my nose, underneath my chin, on my jawline. Okay, and then that's that. I'm gonna go in with a dot of e.l.f. blush. This lilac one is my favorite, so I'm gonna actually add that on top right here. And so now you can see why I call it the second layer is because everything is on my face now. Everything that I'm planning on applying to my makeup is on my face. So it's not like contour, then this, then that. I want it all to be blended out together, and I'm gonna show you how I achieve that. So I guess you could do this in one brush. I'm not doing it in one brush, that's not my style, okay? I'm going to take a brush that I like that is also this is called a buffing brush. This is Real Techniques. Now I'm gonna do a different video, but I'm gonna mention it here. My favorite type of brushes to use are Real Technique and Morphe. They last the longest. Some of my Real Technique brushes are at least 10 years old. Okay, not 10 years old, like 7 or 8 years old. I probably should replace them, but they look good. Let me see, do I have one? Like, this brush is really old. It doesn't even have the name or anything, but that looks good. That's a good brush still. Let's see, this one too. This one is this one's old, okay? But look, the hair is still white. It's not all tarnished. Like, you could tell by the bottom it's all busted up, but the hairs are fine, okay? But this one is a newer one. You could tell by the color, okay? So we're gonna go in with whole side note. We're gonna go in with this Real Techniques 204 brush, buffing brush, and we're gonna do our blush first, okay? So I'm gonna tap it where you put it. So this is our cream blush. I'm going to add powder blush that may add more pinkness back, but I really like this shade. So I like to use this as my cream one. We're gonna brush that up into the concealer and the contour and all those things, right? Alrighty, so that's all of the blush. Sometimes I put it on my forehead, on the temples of my head. Blush brush. Then we're gonna go in here with a contour brush. This also is a Real Technique brush. This one is called a Expert Face Brush. It is more short and more dense. That's one of my favorites. This brush is 200. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more contour. It's a different shade. I have 2 shades, and I think I need this darker one today. Okay, there we go. Perfect. We're gonna take this brush and we're gonna go in and tap that bronzer into our temples of our head, bringing it down. I didn't even put concealer on my forehead today. Let's stop that and put some concealer on our forehead. We're gonna go in with just the e.l.f. one. Forgot about the forehead. Now that has to dry down. I'm gonna give y'all a little spiel. I've been trying not to put none on my chin because I don't like when it be looking cakey. And I have yet to figure out what is making it look cakey. But yeah. Okay, so there we go. All this is adding that color back into our face. And so, here we go. All right, so that's all the contour. What you're doing with this is pressing and swiping a little bit. So you press it in the direction that you want. So you're kind of like pressing up like that. If this is a line, you're going like that. But in the pressing and not just in like, not just like this, where the brush is not lifted up, but like, I don't know. I don't know if that tip is helpful, but. Next, we're gonna go in with a concealer brush. This one has actually become my favorite. We're gonna go underneath the eyes. Here's the tip. This is what I learned, okay? This is what I learned with the concealer and the e.l.f. creasing too much, all that. Go in with the any setting spray you have. I'm just a e.l.f. girl, okay? I like e.l.f. I'm sorry. e.l.f. This is just the Power Grip Dewy setting spray. I'm gonna go. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with this concealer brush. So that is it blended out, right? It's moving perfectly. I wish that y'all could see this in person, but it's blending perfectly. What we're gonna do now is go in with a little beauty blender and some Morphe setting powder. And we're just gonna press underneath our eye first to make sure there's no creasing. And then we're gonna just press this in here. Bam. You have to hit the concealer with powder so that it's not creasing and crumbling the rest of the day, okay? So we're gonna go here. We're gonna press that into our face right here. You want to do your best to look up so that you can get underneath. So that's why I like tilt my head down. But I also could just go like this and press underneath. See what I'm doing? Okay. I think I'm liking this blend out, right? Blend out is looking good. Okay, so then we're gonna do the same thing we did initially. No creasing. Morphe powder. All right, that's that. I'm gonna come back once the face is done because we've been doing this for a while and I think y'all get the point. come back when I got done with my makeup, but I realized this is a very important step, right? So a lot of the girlies that ask me about makeup, I realized that they are not understanding this important step. And that step is setting versus press powder. I want to show you how I use both of them. I already demonstrated it with under eye, so now I'm gonna do it with the rest of the face, right? So I'm going to now take this, see, this is one of those old brushes that I don't know the name, but this is a Real Techniques brush. It is just a flat brush right here, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is I am going to press in some Huda Beauty loose translucent powder. This powder is in the shade Blondie. And what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to make sure it's powder in this little net that she gave us, right? And now that there's powder in there, I'm going to press my brush. I'm going to then smooth it out so the placement on my face is not too crazy. And I'm going to press that in my forehead. I just hope it shows you guys just how good this powder is, because it is going to mattify the whole thing right there, right? Like no more shine. I'm going to show you this on the rest of my face. Chin. Chin is shiny right now. Press this powder, girl, generously, okay? Generously. You have a whole day ahead of you. Do not be afraid of the powder. Yes, you're gonna look matte right now, but as you go out to work, you go and do errands, you go into the sun, the oil is going to eat up that powder, okay? So again, I'm going to do the side of my nose. You can do everything if you wanted to, right? But I'm going to show y'all how I like to do it. So I like to get it all over my shirt, as y'all see. Oh, maybe y'all can't see that, but press that in, right? This is just translucent powder, okay? This is just translucent powder. In the most oily places of my face, underneath my eyes that I don't want to crease, on my forehead, on my upper lip, on the roundabout my nose, my chin, bam, that's it, right? Setting powder, that's setting powder, setting powder. We now have face press powder, face press powder, face press powder, right? We have bronzing powder. This is so old, y'all do not judge me, but I have one right here. Face contour powder, face contour. What is this? This is powder, because we need this layer of powder. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care how many people tell me in the comments that too many products, blah, 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 blah. Y'all don't know makeup. You get out my comments, respectfully, respectfully. We are now going to take a fluffy brush, 449 from Morphe, which says tapered cheek brush. We're going to take it, I personally like the old product, so don't judge me. That fluffy brush it's short, but it's still open enough, like you can move it. We're gonna use that in bronzer. We're going to go into the bronzer. Do we see how shiny my face is right here? Here we go. When you start to add that powder, it is gonna absorb some of that oil. We want that. We want that for longevity. Same on this side. Wherever you place that cream bronzer, that cream contour, this is where you're adding this back, right? It's going to mattify your face. You want that, guys. You want it to last all day. You want it to look good, right? Okay. Some on the chin, jawline. Okay. Forehead. Don't forget that forehead, girl. You know that forehead be shiny. My forehead be shiny. Press that into the forehead. Press that in all around. Okay. No more shine, but it still looks dewy. It still looks like good, right? That's the contour one. Here we go. This is the one the girls always ask me about, and I want y'all to really get it. I want summer makeup to be makeup-ing, okay? Makeup. Okay? You can use anything you want to add this to your face. You can even use the brush you use for the setting, okay? I have two shades. I have one shade that's lighter, and I have one shade that's exactly my shade. I need a new one, but I end up getting this one. So now I'm like, just use this one for the summer. The reason why I got a lighter one for the summer is because I actually could still use this for the summer, but I'm gonna be darker, right? We all gonna get tone. Take this face powder in this brush. Look, dust out the other one. Take it, rub it, rub it, rub it. Press that into your face too. Okay? Take that, press it underneath your eye. Press it underneath your eye. So wipe it so you got enough product. That's what I mean by swirl it around. Make sure you're like getting product off of there. Be generous. You can even take this over here. All right, that's that one. We're gonna use a different brush because this one is obviously, as y'all see, more my skin tone. We're gonna take this and add that right there. We're gonna blend that in, right? We want this to not just sit on our face, we want it to be blended in. Now that we're done with those, we're gonna let that sit for a second. We are then going to go in with our blush, okay? Blush, blush, blush. I have 3 shades. I have these 2 in this one palette, right? And then I have this one that's in, or this one that's in a Fit Me. We can take another fluffy brush. This one can be a smaller one. And I'm gonna go in with this one. And I'm gonna mix a little bit with that one. This is very pigmented, be easy, okay? And now that sets your cream blush, right? Personally, my favorite. Okay. See what I just said? I just said that. And I be getting crazy, y'all. I like blush. But I ain't trying to be blush blonde, okay? Like, did she know she got on that much blush? But yes, you just press that into every part of your face where you added blush today. And this is what I mean by, you could go on with a lighter cream contour or a lighter cream blush and then top it off with something that is more pinky, more red, more orange, whatever you like. And just press it. I'm very huge on pressing and blending, because blending, my grandma told me this, and I probably don't obey this rule, but she said as soon as people could tell that you're wearing makeup, it's not doing its job. And I agree. Obviously, y'all know I'm wearing makeup, but if it was like blatantly, like, girl, that makeup looks crazy, it's not doing its job, then you got an issue. So yeah, there we go. That's the makeup. Now, I noticed that I didn't do my eyes, and I'm gonna do my eyes real quick. Any eye brush that you have, just I'm going to take this brush that we use for our foundation powder, and I'm going to swipe that powder, excess powder that's on there, in there. I'm actually going to take the one that's more my skin tone. All right, again, brush and bronze. We're going to take the bronze and we're going to add that to the end of our eye. I just like to have the look of eyeshadow, but maybe not actually have on eyeshadow. We're going to take some on this side too. Then I'm going to go underneath my eye a little bit, just to warm up the under eye. Oh, I didn't realize I wasn't in the frame. Okay. How's that look? How's that look? Looking good, right? That's it. Now I'm really gonna come back when we done, okay? All right. We did everything. Everything is done, okay? Everything is done.
Don't get shut up. tell him what he's gonna do. I said the chain breakers in the room.
And there's no telling what he's gonna
Ask
do.
this question. Have you been washed? Are you blood bought? Have you been washed? Are you blood bought? Have you been washed? Are you blood bought? Have you been washed? Are you
Many hours later.
Hi guys, I'm back from church. I just wanted to show you guys my face in all the oils that are seeping through now and just how natural my makeup looks after a full day of service at church, obviously. So I think this makeup held up really good. Let me zoom in because I realized that. Zoom in. So when I say use the setting powder as well as the pressed powder, this is why. So in the areas, and you can see it right here, like in my T-zone, down just like in this area, it's like super oily. I didn't use as much powder around my nose as I did around my eye. And I think you can tell, well, I can tell in person. I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but my under eye is very much set. It's very set. My chin is still set. I always say that I really like when the oil seep through. However, around my nose, like right here, it's like no. And all you would do to set your face, like if I was still going out and wanted to wear this makeup, I would take the skin powder that is my shade. I will take the same setting brush that I have, which is this little gold one. And I will just take the powder, I will dust over it lightly, and then I will press in there. And that just caused it to just mattify, right? And that's it. I like this because this is like highlight, so obviously that's that. But we can do that on this side as well. I had on glasses, so I got a little crease right there. I have not perfected how not to crease. But anywhere that there's oil and you don't want it, just your face powder. Sometimes you do have to re-up, okay? But I wanted to acknowledge that I don't have much creasing underneath my eye like I normally do when I use e.l.f. But I think that's because of all the powder. So, yeah, that's my check-in. I did my makeup. I really like to do my makeup on Sunday so that I could record the content and I actually have somewhere to go. So that's how y'all start getting content. But yeah, this is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I ask that you please would like, subscribe, comment, share, turn your post notifications on. You guys, the reason, because if you're a real YouTube person, girly, you are probably like, why do you always record this way? I record this way because it is less of a hassle for me to just prop the camera up and start recording. I don't want anything to stop me from doing this. And if I got to worry about the camera, I'm probably not going to do it. So I just do this way because this is where I am in this season of just pushing myself out and doing what I love, which is teaching people how to do makeup and all the other beauty content that will be coming on this channel and scriptures and all the things. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you. Have a great, great, great week. And yeah, talk to y'all later. Bye.
Everything that you are doing, it should stem from your understanding of the love of